Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Monday.
It's a brand new contest that we're kicking off today, the Kick-Ass Music Giveaway. We've got details at cruzradio.com, but first up, Patrick on the line. You want to be the guinea pig, right? You want to be the first player to try this out?
I sure do, yep.
So we've teamed up with the Music Room at the All-In Sports Den. Using what we know is on the calendar for the summer months with live music in town, they've put together 3 different prize packages filled with music. One of them even has a record player in there. I'm going to give you a word, and you just give me the first 5 words that come to mind. I did the very same with Brian at the Music Room at the All-In Sports Den, and if you match any one of the words he said, then you're going to be qualified. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. First 5 words that come to mind when I give you the word summer.
Swimming.
Okay. Keep going. 4 more.
Vacation.
Yep.
Hot.
Okay, that's 3.
Camping.
Uh-huh.
And smoke.
Smoke. Yeah, right. Every summer. No kidding. Well, Patrick, let's find out together. Here is what Brian at the Music Room said when I told him to give me 5 words that remind him of summer.
Beach, camping, chair, booze, beer.
The camping word. You got that in common, my friend. So you locked it in, and now you're entered to win.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much. We'll be in touch at the end of next week if you're one of the prize winners from the draw, okay? Fingers crossed.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
It's all about touring acts for the news headlines this morning in the music world. AC/DC, they've announced their first Australian tour in over 10 years. Just over. It was 2015 when they were back down under, but there's going to be not too much more of a wait before they are back in action again, beginning on November 12th in Melbourne. Then Stevie Nicks has announced new dates in 2025 for her North American tour, adding 17 new ones in the fall. And that is across U.S. and Canada. And it just barely counts as far as an actual North American tour goes, but all the new dates that have been added are in the United States, save one, Toronto, on the 15th of August. And Morrissey canceling a show in Stockholm. Big surprise there. I guess he did cite that the band was travel-weary beyond belief, and then got into the usual Morrissey stuff, saying there was absolutely zero music industry support for their full Scandinavian tour. No word on rescheduling for any of the fans who were missing out.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
Apple, Google usernames and passwords, social media logins, bank account logins, and more. It was a cyber criminal's dream with an incident last month, and now we're just learning about it is a record-breaking number of passwords and login information credentials leaked. 16 billion. Gotta get that 2-factor authentication. Gotta have strong passwords. Gotta make sure that they're different on every website. And people are now suggesting you gotta get like a dark web crawler that is gonna be searching for your information and letting you know if it has arrived, if it has been included in a breach. I mean, 16 billion passwords. You do the math, that's 2 passwords for every person on the planet. Probably not exactly how it breaks down, but on average. And when I think about records getting broken, I think athletes. I think box office blockbusters. I don't want to think about gas prices. I don't want to think about global temperatures. And I definitely don't want to be thinking about historic personal login data leaks. But that's how we be living.
Tuesday.
You know that thing where you try not to think about something and of course it's all you can think about? Well, study finds people who have a lot of nightmares are more likely to drop dead prematurely. Oh, fun! Great pick first thing in the morning, Steve. But apparently this was presented on literally just yesterday in Helsinki, Finland at the European Academy of Neurology in Congress 2025. Whatever that is. Obviously, I'm not super familiar, but this study analyzed a ton of other studies and includes findings from almost 200,000 people from age 26 to 86. Some of them tracked for 1.5 years. Some of them tracked as many as 19 years. And turns out that there seems to be a connection. For people who have reported nightmares weekly basis, more than 3 times as likely to die before they turned 70. compared to those who say they never or rarely had nightmares. Great, so, don't have any bad dreams thinking about all of that. Yeesh. Those online ads where the store that you've never heard of is, oh no, they're closing down. Oh, they're going to shut the doors. No, after all this time? Those ads that are either scams or they're definitely scam adjacent because it hasn't been all this time. They're brand new websites. They're brand new stores. They're just playing off of the hard. They're playing hard into the fear of missing out, selling questionable quality crap. And our nose for sniffing out a bargain born out of, like bankruptcy is pretty sharp. Those ads are the modern equivalent of those old local TV commercials that Family Guy spoofed so well.
Hi, I'm Al Harrington, President and CEO of Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Emporium and Warehouse. Thanks to a shipping error, I am now currently overstocked on Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Men, and I am passing the savings on to you!
Starting off with Queens of the Stone Age, they, after their historic performance in the catacombs beneath Paris, are bringing that to North America with the stripped back The Catacombs North American Tour. They're going to be actually rearranging a lot of their songs, and they're going to be designed specifically for this experience. Inspired by the one-night-only thing they did in Europe, they're going to be not quite all over North America. Only one Canadian date in Toronto, so it doesn't really count. But still, they've announced it's all through October into November. It would be a pretty crazy show to see. Sad news, bizarre news out of a French music festival where 12 suspects have been detained after reports of 145 syringe attacks. More investigation needed, but in the case of 4 of the people who are in custody, it's believed that they were suspected of targeting up to 50 victims each. Not sure exactly what was in syringes, but we can probably assume nothing good. And bad news as well, sad news. Bad Company and Mott the Hopple member, a legendary musician, Mick Ralphs, has died at the age of 81. And a lot of people, of course, former bandmates from Bad Company, of course, reaching out and paying tribute to somebody who had a huge influence on them in the past and whose music lasts till today.
Wednesday.
It's middle of the week, meaning that we got to get a question into your brain cells to help keep them fired up and doing what they need to do, getting those synapses going all through the rest of the week. That is the point of the big question asked way too early. It is time for the big question, which is quite large. Big. And it's actually pretty simple for this one, though you might have to rack your brain a tiny bit. What is the best memory you made in the past year? Now, this is inspired by the fact that today is the final day of classes for almost all students here in the Wood Buffalo area, certainly for the public and the Catholic school districts. Today, final day for the kids. Friday, final day for the teachers, but today, final day of classes, which means it's a day of reflection ahead of a day of excitement and new things for the vacation that's about to begin. So let's think back. Last 10 months, last 12 months, what is a great memory that you have made that you're going to cherish for the rest of time? Let me know.
Hey, Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
Billy Joel Armstrong getting mad at a fan, or at least somebody in the crowd, while performing at the Hurricane Festival in Germany. Apparently somebody was hitting him with a squirt gun over and over and over again. So there's video now of him telling off that fan and get out of here, stop it. They don't appreciate that, I guess. A little better than getting beamed with a water bottle, though. Oasis telling fans that, hey, stay tuned. The final round of tickets that will be available for the Live 25 reunion tour could be going on sale as soon as in the next few days. They do say in the coming days, which is kind of wide open, but keep an eye on the email inbox for anybody who has signed up for the blast. Oh, would be nice. Would be nice. Hopefully they extend the tour into North America with a little bit more coverage. And Chrissy Hynde of the Pretenders fame is actually making an ominous and grim prediction that outdoor events like, festivals, concerts, and things are going to come to an end. Citing that there's ongoing heat waves, of course, across the United States and the UK. They've seen some really high temperatures, some record temperatures even in Canada, over in Ottawa through this week. And they're saying that, or she is saying rather, that it's looking like if things just keep getting hot every single summer, it's going to have an effect. Whether that is a devastating no more possibility remains to be seen, but certainly it's going to have some influence. That's it for your music news this morning. We are seeing the excitement already growing. Battle of the Neighborhoods is coming back. Thickwood, this is an alert. As the winners of the previous Battle of the Neighborhoods, you've got the defending champ status, and you got to, of course, show up to the party. Abysand has won it a million times, it feels like. I mean, we haven't been doing it for that many years, and there was a little gap there when we couldn't get together for a barbecue, of course, but there's a legacy of Abysand doing quite well. Now, I need this to get pumped into every community group that there is on any social media platform that you're on, because you're going to need to vote in to even seed the brackets of those who will be going head-to-head, round by round, all through next week. So it's kind of a free-for-all. Starting on Monday, we'll let you know when those phone lines open, when the text line is ready to go. But you can simply text in the name of the neighborhood that you want to nominate once we get this thing started for a full week. And then, based on the input from all those texts, we're going to seed that bracket and get into the top teams going head-to-head day by day. Very exciting. Of course, winning a neighborhood's going to get a big community barbecue and the bragging rights for an entire 365. Very exciting. Battle of the Neighborhoods, not quite here yet, but coming back officially.
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.